Good evening, Stevens Point. I'm Florence Anderson. This week, in a special spooky edition of SPTV News, a petition to recall the governor fails, Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed to the Supreme Court, and the Stevens Point Fire Department declares an emergency. All of this and more when we return. A petition to recall Governor Tony Evers failed to garner enough signatures this past Tuesday. The petition was launched by Misty Polniczki on August 28th, 2 days before the 68-day deadline. Polniczki told reporters no signatures would be turned in. 668,327 signatures would be required to recall the election. The announcement comes a week after Polniczki told reporters that she had gathered more than enough signatures. On her discreditable statements from last week, she said to the Branson Times-Journal that, quote, "Sometimes any press is better than no press," unquote. Earlier this week, Amy Coney Barrett was confirmed by the Senate to Supreme Court, 52-48. This has raised some questions, concerns, and anger by many, particularly because the election is now less than a week away. CNN's Nadia Romero has more.
Thank you all.
It was an election 20 years ago.
Let's do it.
When a razor-thin presidential race turned into a monumental history-making case.
We'll hear argument now in number 00949, George W. Bush and Richard Cheney versus Albert Gore et al.
That was Chief Justice William Rehnquist on December 11, 2000, as the Supreme Court listened to arguments which led to the landmark ruling that stopped Florida's recount and gave George W. Bush the presidency.
So help me God.
It was hard to imagine such a remarkable Supreme Court and White House election storyline could ever happen again until the evening of September 18th.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court since 1993, died at the age of 87, just 46 days before the presidential election. National Public Radio reported Ginsburg told her granddaughter her most fervent wish was that she would not be replaced until a new president was installed. President Trump disagreed.
I think having a 4-4 situation is not a good situation if you get that.
What the president calls a 4-4 situation is a court without a ninth sitting justice, a court where decisions such as a contested election might end in a tie.
You are going to be fantastic.
It took just days for the president to nominate Amy Coney Barrett for the court. In her confirmation hearings, she did not commit to recusing herself from any case which may arise from the November elections.
I certainly hope that all members of the committee have more confidence in my integrity than to think that I would allow myself to be used as a pawn to decide this election for the American people.
There's another election reality in play, the Senate. Republicans control it 53-47. Waiting to confirm a court nominee until after November 3rd would have risked Democrats taking over the Senate, the White House, or both. Whatever happens in the election, President Trump's impact on the court could last for generations. Trump has nominated 3 justices to the Supreme Court: Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. This likely moves the court to a 6-3 conservative split, more conservative than it has been in decades. It happens as the court is scheduled to hear cases such as the future of the Affordable Care Act, which provides insurance coverage for millions of Americans, among other things, a religious liberty case involving LGBTQ rights. On top of this, many wonder about the future of Roe versus Wade with these 9 justices. And that has led to election questions about the possibility of court packing, increasing the number of justices to tilt the equation if Joe Biden wins in November.
If elected, what I will do is I'll put together a national commission, and I will ask them to, over 180 days, come back to me with recommendations as to how to reform the court system.
In Amy Coney Barrett's hearings, she held up a blank notepad to demonstrate she was speaking without notes. It may prove a symbol of the weeks ahead with the court and the election, closely watched and impossible to read. In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Since confirming Barrett, the Senate has adjourned until after the election. For more information on the election and voting, stay tuned for our segment on SGA. Stevens Point city leaders have approved a declaration of emergency for the city's fire department after a strike in COVID-19 cases. The Stevens Point Fire Chief, Robert Finn, said that 14 members of the department were under quarantine as of August 26th. The declaration allows Finn to make staffing changes to the department, while a large portion of its members are unable to work. Finn says that though he does not know how long the declaration will need to remain in effect, now is a critical time for staffing in the department. That's all the news stories we have for you this week. After the break, Ryan Kreft will give us an update in the world of entertainment on and offline.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW-Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
Hello, Stevens Point. I'm Ryan Kreft. This week in SPTV Entertainment, the UWSP Department of Theater and Dance is premiering In This Moment, Reflections of Our Time. It is a collection of 9 student-created and produced theatrical works reflecting on the current world we live in. The works center on many ideas, including relationships, climate change, COVID-19, and racial equality, among others. The virtual show opens October 13th, that night. That night, audiences can also enjoy a conversation with directors and casts via Zoom at 7 p.m. Tickets for the event are available online at the Department of Theater and Dance page. Looking for a way to show off your rad Halloween costume? I know I am. The Honors Ambassadors are hosting a virtual costume contest. All you have to do is submit pictures of you in your costume to the QR code up there. Submissions are due by the end of the day on November 3rd. The ambassadors are looking for original and creative costumes. Categories include single or group couple and makeup prizes. Prizes are available for each category, so don't be afraid to give it a go. Another fall craft night is coming up. RHA will be hosting an event in the alumni room of the DUC where students can come and paint wooden figurines. The figurines are fall themed, of course, with options such as a leaf, a pumpkin, or an acorn, among others. Apple cider and hot chocolate will also be available. The event is on Wednesday, November 4th, starting at 6 p.m. That's all I have for you tonight in SPTV Entertainment. For more, check out our entertainment shows, What's the Point with Claude and Neve, and You Got Game, hosted by yours truly. Next up, I'll pass it off to Jackson Jirik with SPTV Sports.
The Media Studies is a program for people who love to tell stories, whether that be in written form, visual, or audio.
Media Studies is exciting because it's always fresh, it's always new.
Media is at the center of everything we do. More and more people are asked to engage with media and use media. Our program really provides students with skills and techniques to be better prepared for that in the future.
We offer courses in media production, both video and audio, nonfiction and fiction, music production, journalism, film studies.
Media Studies is a great way to get hands-on experience in the field that you're looking to do. They teach you the basic concept behind everything, and then they tell you to go do it.
We really pride ourselves on thinking of a wide set of opportunities that we can give our students.
The student organizations are a great asset. We have SPTV, the student television organization, 90 FM, the radio, and The Pointer, our student-run newspaper.
It's a great way for students to get involved, learn skills that they need for class, and meet new people.
Some great facilities where our students can hone their skills.
There's a giant studio in the center of the comm building. I've had quite a few classes in there.
A lot of our classes are very hands-on, they're very interpersonal.
You're getting the skills that will allow you to create your future, and I think that's what makes it a truly amazing experience for students.
There's an incredible range of options for graduates. We've had students go out and become independent contractors, work for radio stations, newspapers, with TV stations.
Everyone is different, and they have their own unique unique style. In all the classes and all the student organizations you get involved in, you have a lot of flexibility to really create your own work and do it in a way that means something to you.
We're excited to see what students are making and what they want to make, and how we can help students get from where they are to where they want to be.
I'm in a video production class that's teaching me how to film documentaries. I'm also in a screenwriting class, and I get to learn how to write movies. So I'm doing all these different cool things, and I love it every day.
Hello and welcome to this sports edition of news where myself, Jackson Jirik, will give you this week's sports update. With plenty to cover, let's get right into it. The Badgers were back in action this past Saturday with a massive win over Illinois' 45-7. Graham Mertz went 20 of 21, throwing for 284 yards with 5 touchdowns. Jake Ferguson led the receiving corps with 7 catches for 72 yards and 3 touchdowns from Mertz. The Badgers were scheduled to play this weekend against Nebraska, but the game was canceled due to positive tests within the Badgers organization. These positive tests included Graham Mertz and head coach Paul Kreis. Mertz will be out for 21 days, while Kreis will be out for 10 days. The Badgers were ranked 9th heading into this weekend, but with the game being canceled, that is sure to change. Moving on to the Packers in the NFL, the Packers got back to their normal self, having a big win over the Houston Texans, winning 35-25. Aaron Rodgers had an MVP type of day, going for 23 completions, 283 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had himself a stellar day, going off for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Jamal Williams filled in for Aaron Rodgers, having a good rushing day for 77 yards and 1 score. The Packers are back in action Sunday at Lambeau Field for a border battle against the Minnesota Vikings for a noon start time. Switching over to the Diamond, the Dodgers won the World Series, beating the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 in Game 6 and winning the series 4-2. Corey Seager was named World Series MVP. Victor Gonzalez would get the Game 6 win, and Julio Urias would pitch the save. This was the Dodgers' first World Series win since 1988. For more sports, check out our sports show, The Sports Hub, where we take a closer look at the current seasons. Once again, I'm Jackson Jirik. Stay safe and stay healthy, Pointers, and roll Dogs.
Hey Pointers, welcome to the weekly Student Government Association update. This week in SGA, 4 resolutions were passed through Senate. The Clean Water Act of 1972 and the Clean Water Rule of 2015 were repassed from previous years, as well as the resolution in support of renewable energy practices, the resolution in support of UW system fossil fuel divestment, and the resolution in support of clean drinking water in Wisconsin. Senate meetings take place every Thursday starting at 6:15. Contact anyone in SGA if you would like to attend a meeting. With the election right around the corner, SGA is making sure students know what to do when going to vote. Posters were hung in the lobby of each hall that say where your voting location is. These posters also have information on what you need to take to the polls on Election Day. If you are voting absentee and you have yet to turn in your ballot, you should drop it off at a ballot drop box. No ballots sent through the mail will be counted in Wisconsin after Election Day. Contact Aaron Larson at vote@uwsp.edu if you have any questions about voting. Student government wants to remind each student that their voice matters and that our generation can make a difference through voting. Lastly, Halloween weekend is here, and SGA wants to remind you to make smart and safe decisions this weekend. Only you can slow the spread of COVID-19.
That's all we have for you this week in SPTV News. Until next time, Stevens Point, stay safe, have a great night, and Happy Halloween!